if tradies and builders didn't have their wives and partners filling in the gaps, doing hours after they put the kids to bed at night, on weekends, like squeezing in around their own careers and all that sort of thing, like our industry would fall over. My dream is to improve the residential building industry for all involved. Throughout this podcast, we're going to be chatting to all types of industry experts to make sure that builders, tradies and clients all have a fantastic experience. G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Level Up. We are back in the shed today with a very, very special guest.
Thank you.
I'd like you to give a big warm welcome to my beautiful wife, Camille.
I'm just waiting for the applause, but...
A lot of people see all the stuff that I do on socials and videos and things and wonder how I get it all done, but Camille is definitely one of the reasons why a lot of that happens. So do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Sure. It is quite weird talking to you about it though. So obviously we're married. We only really started working together because of circumstances, but I guess now looking back on it, things happen for a reason. I think I was meant to go back to work after Violet. We were discussing, I was talking to a new boss about time sharing with my team that I had.
So what did you come from?
Oh yeah, sure. So come from an insurance company, one of the largest ones in motor claims, and I think at that point I'd gotten to a team leader of a claims team of about 15 or 17 staff. Had an awesome team, such good fun, great boss. Loved working there, had heaps of really good people to look up to there. But they had a restructure, I think, while I was on maternity leave with Violet.
Yeah, with our second
daughter. Just discussing going back, and then all of a sudden our office lady Julie decided that their family was moving to Adelaide, and it was big conversations about what we were going to do.
Yeah, because we were at a growth phase, and when we look back, I was running a shit show, but we had a lot of work on.
But we also, I think it's really hard for tradies and partners of tradies if they do have their own career, like managing kids, daycare, sick kids, like who takes the day off. That was always a huge argument. Like, why do I always have to take off? And it was hard because it was your business, but I had sick leave. It was a hard juggle. It's a very hard conversation to have.
And like Camille, she really loved her job. She was passionate about it. She loved it. She had always spoke about having the incredible team. It was a great environment to work in. I think you enjoyed having something as well, like getting up, getting ready, dressing up, going to town each day. It was good. It was
nice, but also I am not like you that had one passion from the day I was born. I had a gazillion jobs. I worked at Kmart. I worked at a debt collector's. I worked at an optometry supply company. I've worked in so many different industries because I don't know, I liked a change. If I didn't like something, I moved on to find something better. I did nails for ages. I had my own little nail business. Yeah. I love doing nails, but couldn't keep doing it. And then Suncorp, am I allowed to say it? It was amazing. From the get-go, I had the best team members, the best bosses, really good mentors. I was able to have a career and actually move up the ranks in 3 years. Yeah, it was awesome and such good support. And then we obviously decided to have a family, and then things changed, but I don't know, it was a hard decision, but also very, look where we've come from. I guess the structure that I had from Suncorp and how to run teams and processes and everything, you did not take well to it at the start, but... No, but
looking back now, it's a massive part of why we're where we are now. It's also a huge part of why the other business I have, Live Like Build, is where it is, because a lot of the structure, the documents, the systems, the process, a lot of it came from your background.
Yeah, but I think guys, when you have partners or wives or whoever come in and give suggestions, like you didn't, it took, oh my God, so many arguments where you go, it just doesn't work in our industry. It just doesn't work in our industry. And I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. We had a bit of a yelling match. I'd walk out. This is ridiculous. I don't want to do this anymore. And then 6 months later, someone else would say to you, whatever. And you'd come home and go, oh, I talked to this guy today and he said this. And I was like, oh my God, I said that 6 months ago. Like, I think a big message from me would be, if you are getting someone to help you, you have to embrace it and take that on board.
Yeah.
And work with it. It can be adjusted to suit, obviously, every different type of business.
So the industry is, like, obviously I've changed a lot. Like, so you've been in the business now for nearly 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
So, it's actually awesome to sit here and look back and see how far we've come together, how far the business has come. Like, I know, like, I'm incredibly proud of how far I've come personally myself.
Oh, you're a completely not different person, but you've pivoted.
But a lot of that is to do with like you. Like we are a good team. We do work well together. We definitely have our moments.
We are polar opposites, like polar opposites.
Yes, and we'll get to that. But like I'm just thinking back as you've been talking, long story short, we I put some lady on to work in our office. She was a family friend, and then they sort of made a call to move to Adelaide. And Camille was on maternity leave, and like there's so many things to talk about today, and it might get a little bit jumbled up, but we'll try and cover all of it because I think it's really good information for everyone out there. Because I do believe the industry is completely supported by wives and partners. Like if tradies and builders didn't have their wives and partners filling in the gaps, doing hours after they put the kids to bed at night, on weekends, like squeezing in around their own careers and all that sort of thing, like our industry would fall over.
Well, our type of business, part of the industry for sure.
Yeah. And then so at the time, like Camille actually sort of suggested that, well, maybe I should work in the business. And we actually, like, my first thought was, holy shit, like, we're going to be ahead of the game because I'm going to have free labour in my business.
Well, that was the thing. Like, I also had a panic attack that I'm not going to have my own money. Like, I'm going to have to ask for money, and I've never had to ask for money in my life. I mean, from my mum, yes. But do you know, like that was so scary. But yeah, funny that we were both on the opposite. You're like, free labour, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, and I know it definitely, like over sort of a 2-year period, it definitely took its toll because you felt undervalued and and it was the worst thing we could have ever done. Like, because our business really actually got in a worse position because it was taking more labour to run the business and we weren't actually paying someone to do it. And so there's a lot of stuff to cover there, and it's definitely a big part of in Live Like Build now. Like we teach people to make sure they're covering the salaries. So
we didn't understand that part of the overheads and
stuff. I guess that covers off one of them. So one of the questions we actually got was, do you get paid?
I do now, yes. I do. Well, I get paid and then manage the household money for sure.
Yeah. So one of the big things that I'm very passionate about, knowing what I know now and being in the business we've got, is every single person in the business has to get paid for their role in the business. So Camille gets paid a salary from our business for the role that she plays in our business, because at the end of the day, if something happened, and Camille might still choose in the future to go off and have her own career, start another business, and all those types of things. So if she was to leave, I have to pay someone to fill that spot. So whether it's my wife or another person, it's real money that the business has to cover. So that was a big learning exercise for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And when I did go off and work full-time in Quotespec, you had to have someone here. So that transition was a lot easier to manage, I guess, in regards to...
Yeah, because we had the funds.
Yeah, we knew, and we had our roles and task process, and that's another story. But
Yeah. So let's get on to a few questions because there's actually quite a lot to get through, and I think it's going to give.
You keep saying that. Are you having a panic attack about it, or
no? I actually think it's awesome. So
you'll notice that I'm like, let's get to it. Roll on.
I fluff around. So the first one is, what are your key roles and responsibilities in the business?
It's like a never-ending story, but I talked to a business mentor through Master Builders about this not long ago, and I find it very hard to define my role. I guess, obviously, admin, quoting, client liaison officer, client support, Duayne support, Todd support. Team support. Social media now, because we just do it in-house with the support of Shay.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and then if you need a little bit of side help with Live Life Build, that as well.
So there's a lot.
Cost tracking, so much. This is the thing.
Variations.
You say project
documents.
manager, but within that, there's about 15 roles inside of it. And that's where I think at the start, when I did start doing it, it's not only overwhelming for me, but for you guys. You're like, what did you do today? And I'm like, don't get me started.
It's funny because I can actually remember the very first day that Camille.
Oh my God, I cried for most of it.
we actually had a little home office. So just to give you a little bit of a background so we were living in an old
fishing cottage.
Yeah, it was a fishing cottage that had been sort of renovated over the years. It had been bricked around. It wasn't like I had to duck my head to walk underneath. Didn't even have even concrete on the floor. It was terrible. We had this little office set up under the house where myself, our accounts manager Sharon would work. Camille came in, and obviously we had young kids at the time. The floor was this horrible old timber floor, and when we started having kids, occasionally they would knock something over and the water would drip through the floor onto the office. And
yeah, but Julie would be freaking out during toilet training going, oh my God,
is that water or we?
Horrendous work environment. Yeah, but we had fun.
We had fun and we know what it's like. But I can remember very clearly the very first day, Camille sort of sitting in the office, me being there with her and sort of giving her a run through of everything that was happening, what was going on. And like I was like, I've got to get to site, like this is what you need to do. And she's like, I don't know what you mean. And I remember her like within a couple of hours going like, no wonder this is a shit show.
Oh
like,
my God.
What the hell is going on here? Like, you got no systems, you got no processes. Where's your KPIs? You're saying nothing's happening on site. Like, how do you...
Yeah, it was hard though because Julie had a lot of industry experience. And she did a great handover with me about like what was happening. But when someone rang and said, what colour's the soffit on this job? I'm like, what is a soffit? Like Google was my friend. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I'm sure that first week, half the time I just cried and just thought, what have I done?
Yeah, it was very difficult.
Like, now the rain's starting.
And I was, so we're in the shed. It is raining today, but it's all good. We'll keep going.
Okay.
There's a lot of tough times, a lot of arguing. Like, I think looking back now, I've apologised to Camille for this because I used to just dump all this shit on her. Like, this is a list of shit to do. This is what I need done. And I would race off to site and... like, I'd just leave it and sort this stuff out that she had no idea about what to do.
Yeah, but that is what you have to do. Like, I think back then we didn't know what the process was going to look like. So I'm really a support role to you, but also I came from leading groups of people. So I was like... don't tell me what to do. It was a massive learning curve for sure, but I think you have to, like, it's like any job, you got to start at the bottom, and that's what I did. Like, I used to have to ring our trades, which are fantastic, and just say, I don't know what this is. Like, can you just tell me, or what do I need, or what am I missing? And you literally were learning every day on the job as you went.
Yeah, and it, yeah, look, and I guess that's another reason why I really wanted to get Camille on here, and it's why I put myself out there, because Camille and I have been through a lot, and we've learnt a lot from each other. We wouldn't be where we are now. We are a very good team. We work well together, even though we are so completely different. But it was very tough times, wasn't it? And I can feel there's a lot of partners and wives out there that are going through the same thing, and under a lot of pressure about what goes on.
At the moment, especially COVID, like, it's just a massive another spanner in the works. Supply issues, trade issues, cash flow issues, like kids working. I'm not working from home, but kids schooling from home. Like, I don't even know how people down in Melbourne and Sydney did it for so long. We were so lucky up here that we didn't have to do that for long. And the kids are young, so they were supported well by the school.
So, like, one of the first things, like, it was tough for, I'd say, years, wasn't it? It wasn't just weeks or months.
Oh,
like,
I'm surprised, to be honest, that we are still sitting here.
Yeah, and that and that you didn't throw it in and go back to your career, because it was very difficult. But we did, like, it wasn't so much, like, it took me a long time to get my head around, but, like, Camille started implementing stuff from your background fairly quickly.
I tried, yes.
One of the first things that we did, and it was an argument, because I was saying, like, there's no way that's going to work in our industry, and, like, that was our roles and tasks. Like, she's like, we got to get this shit in order. Like, you whinge about site, you whinge about shit not happening, you whinge about no one knowing what's going on, or you feel like you got to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you've got nothing on paper. Like, nothing clearly tells people what roles they have to do, what tasks they have to perform, how they have to perform it. Like, there's no KPIs. And I was like, just do it, whatever, try it.
But we did do it, and what happened? Half the people who couldn't be asked to fill out the paperwork left.
Yeah. So,
and I mean, how good's that to weed out the team, because they're really not there to support us.
Yeah.
They're there for, I don't know, whatever job. And I mean, we want people that are passionate about our work because of the work that we do.
And want to grow with our business.
Yeah, 100%.
It was a massive learning curve for me. So Camille started putting these documents together. Like, we literally spent months on it. We'd sit down together, and she'd go through with me. Like, she actually had to teach me what things meant, and I learnt that.
Yeah,
like,
but you never
how
had to do
things.
that before, so.
It's definitely a massive part of our business today, and we've had a lot of success with it. But basically, once we got this document together that outlined, like, we had an apprentice, we had one for an apprentice, one for a carpenter, one for a lead carpenter, supervisor, admin, and we ended up with all these documents that clearly told people what roles they had, what we expected of them, how they were to perform those tasks, like the KPIs that we would judge them, not judge them by, but like how we, and like it gave us the
performance indicators.
Performance indicator that we could then manage and have regular reviews on. We did a company mission statement, and as Camille just said, like, we literally, at the time, I think we had over, I can't remember the number, like
15 or 16. I'm sure you had
might
those
have been
heaps.
like, it was a lot of carpenters, 22 something maybe. And we literally called a team meeting. I ran through it with them, talked them all through it, and literally, like, at the time. So the other thing, a bit of background here, when Camille started this, I was just coming out of a turning point where, like, I was at the lowest point I'd been. Like,
like, you were nearly giving up, and you're like, come and work in the office.
Yeah, like, I had no money. I hadn't understood my contracts. I'd actually lost quite a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars on a couple of projects, because I wasn't doing things properly. And I remember actually sitting on the stairs and, like, having a bit of a cry, and, like, Camille, like, we were living off your wage. Like, we literally had no money in the business.
No.
And at the same time, everyone's going to Camille, like, I'm winning awards left, right and centre, and everyone's going like, oh, but, like, you're awesome. Like, you've hooked up with Duayne. Like,
you're
his
a gold
business is
digger
on fire.
because he's got so much money. He must be making a fortune. Look at the jobs he does. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Far from a gold digger, because Duayne's actually got no money, and he's crying about someone hadn't paid a bill, and
Yeah,
I'm working 2 jobs and actually supporting us. Which, is another story completely. But I mean, look, that perception's a killer. I've always said that to you. You're like, people think this, people think that. And not now, like we don't actually give a shit now because we work hard and we deserve what we get. Exactly. We do what we want to do. We want to make sure our kids are fun. Like that's our main goal. But we've gone on another tangent.
Yeah, another tangent. But back to the staff. So we got with these forms. We had a team meeting, and it was for me. It's a massive eye opener because it showed me how shit the industry really was. We literally gave these documents out, and it was literally within like a 2 or 3 week period. Our team just left. We went down to 9 or so people, but just back to finishing that story. When Camille started, I was in a shit situation. We'd just taken on the biggest job ever. So we just committed to a job that was, I think back then was like just under $3 million build. So it was the biggest job at the time we'd ever done. We were running a shit show.
My first project.
Camille's first project, learning how to run this massive architectural
There was no reception out there, so you couldn't talk to anyone.
And half our team left. And it was just devastating. Like I remember thinking, what the hell are we going to do?
I know. But we did it. And it was unbelievable because the guys that hung around and wanted to learn about the documents that we'd put to them, and we had team meetings and we had one-on-one meetings, and they learnt while we were doing it, and they saw the benefits of it. And it wasn't only a massive turning point for the business, it was a big turning point for us. It was a huge turning point for me because I was just like, far out, like this is something I've never been shown, never knew about, never learned about, and it's made a massive difference. It's small steps, hey, and big wins now, really, because we have a great team and we have a very strict probation side of things. You can't bullshit into this role. You need to know what you need to do, and we work on quality homes and we have expectations. So I think it's hard to find good people, but you have to have expectations, otherwise it's just going to get you nowhere.
So the collaboration, I think, from Camille's professional background and my background as a builder has been able to get us to where we are now. Like we've used, like even now, things will come up that Camille can use her past experience to implement and make our business better. So it is quite amazing. So I guess what comes out of that is for any wives and partners out there that are working in their husband's business, like the big thing for me was realizing how much value you added.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think it's a bloke thing. Like I gave you a hard time. Like I made it hard for you for so long because I wouldn't give you, I don't know if I gave you or I didn't allow you the opportunity to have input.
I think there's a few factors. Like it was your business. You'd worked really hard. And I still sometimes say it's your business.
It's our business.
And it is our business. It's very hard. I think I have confidence up and down. Like I can be super confident sometimes and then something can really hit me hard and just shoot me down to the ground. But I think because it was us and we learned how to communicate with each other very quickly. But also you're open-minded to taking on...
Now.
Yeah, but I think you learnt from then. Like I think it got to the point where I was like, no, you need to understand. And I mean, that's a really shit saying you need to understand because no one needs to. It's whether or not they want to understand.
But it is a very bloke thing. Like blokes want to try and take care of the family, run everything, think they know they're doing everything correctly, think they're in control.
But you came from a very different background of family from me as well. Like I come from a single mum with three brothers. Dad had successful businesses here and there, but I didn't have much to do with him really growing up because like the every second weekend scenario. But I came from a very strong mother who was very independent and probably I learned, like, I've got to stand on my own 2 feet and, like, I have to make you listen to me. It's just, you have to work together, and it's hard. Like, I'm here to help. It's up to you whether or not you want to accept it. And for other builders and trades out there that they might be going through the same scenario with families, and it is super convenient to be working for yourself. It's definitely not easy, and I can't stand when people go, oh, it must be so good to work for yourself. You're like, actually, most days
come and try it.
A nightmare. You're so worried about everything, but you just have to work together.
Yeah, so I think some of the, like, two of the little things that created a lot of success for Camille and I. After not too long, we started having sort of little team meetings just ourselves, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Camille would sort of have a list of, oh, look, this is what you've been wanting me to do. This is what I've been trying to do. This is what not's working. This is what I think would be good to have a go at.
Stop calling me at 7 a.m.
Yeah, like setting boundaries.
Only call me at 9. And then remember, I was like, don't call me till 11 because I need to do my, like, super urgent tasks in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you can call me at 11 and give me a list of stuff to do. And then I'll call Todd at 1 o'clock and go through what's happened today and what's happening tomorrow.
Yeah. So those little sort of meetings, like getting an understanding of how Camille was feeling, what she was dealing with, like, that was really big for me to understand that. And then I guess the other side was you started to get a really good understanding of, like, mornings on a job site are hectic. Everyone's got questions, and so we come up with these plans that really allowed us to grow together. And then, like, that ended up evolving into our little Sunday planning sessions. Like, we would sort of, and this sort of happened. This was sort of as the business was starting to run better, and this was more of a personal thing, wasn't it? Like, Camille wanted time to be able to do exercise and have her own time out, and so we'd do little Sunday planning sessions. Like, she would let me know what mornings or afternoon wanted to go walking, catch up with friends, go to the gym. And that was big for me because it actually taught me that I needed to do the same thing. Like, I needed to sit with her on a Sunday and say, oh, look, I want to do some exercise in the mornings or afternoons or whatever. And it's worked really well.
You have to.
Gave me time to, so that, like, out of that, like, we've managed to work really well. Like, we get more time with the kids. Like, if you want to take them to some activity or I want to take them to some activity, like, we schedule everything in.
Yeah, for sure. But it hasn't all been roses.
No.
I think before that, I thought, what does he do all day? I'm sure he just drives around and points his finger at everyone. And you probably thought, oh, she's got a show on at lunchtime. Or she's doing a couple of loads of washing.
Days of our lives.
No, gross. Something more substantial than that.
Well, Below Deck or something.
Probably. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Duayne hates that I watch those shows.
Oh, brain-numbing garbage.
I iron and I watch my
it's her time out.
crap shows and I just don't have to think about anything. There is, I don't know. It's so much that we could delve into in more detail, but
well, let's get back to the questions because I want to get answers. So,
okay.
So the next one was, how do you manage everything with business, personal, family, and kids?
Google Calendar.
Yep.
Schedule it. Tell Duayne I need you to take the kids to school because this is on. Like this morning, I was meant to take Walter sheep herding first time.
Yeah. So we have a shared Google Calendar.
Yeah.
So Camille and I can see everything that each other's doing.
Yeah.
And if I put something in the calendar, she sees it, vice versa. And so Camille, we will add or include each other into everything.
Yeah, personal stuff. So if I've booked Pilates or the kids have got netball training or CrossFit or whatever they're doing, everyone knows what's happening.
Yep.
Hair appointments, whatever. If you need to do these things. Like, who's got time on the weekends to do that? Sometimes once a 6 weeks, I'll just take a couple of hours out and get my hair done.
It lets each of us know, like, if I need to pick the kids up, if I've got to drop them off at school, if I need to cook dinner, if Camille's not going to be in the office, if I'm not going to be in the office. So, and then that obviously was a flow-on effect to the business. So we we like to sort of chunk time up. So we both know when I'm going to be in the office, we can focus on quoting or scheduling or...
Yeah, and then we fill it up with work stuff. I mean, work's generally a priority.
Yeah, so it works really well. Next one, do you get time for yourself?
Not a lot. Working and living with you is definitely, it's not a challenge, but I like my own space. I like, we talked about this the other day. I would like, it would be nice to say to each other, how was your day, and not know.
Yeah.
That would be nice. But I can't, like you wake up, you're there. you go to work, you're there. You come home, you're there. It's like you need to have your own space. So yes, I go to Pilates and I go to CrossFit. I've just started doing CrossFit, but I like it because it's so mentally challenging. I can't think about anything else. And the same with Pilates. You're just listening to them. You're not listening to anything else. And I'll also, Duayne thinks it's ridiculous that I iron, and I should just get an ironing lady because I never have time and I always complain about it. But like that is my go-to.
Yeah. So Camille puts her
earplugs in, watch my crap show, and I iron. And just everyone leave me alone.
Yeah, she loves it. She's so relaxed doing it. But
it is quite satisfying. You should try it maybe one day.
So the other thing, and again, this also comes back to scheduling like we were talking about before, but as we touched on before, we have quite clear boundaries now. I know, and our supervisor knows, and we try really hard to stick to it, but we know we can't contact Camille before 9 o'clock because she'll be doing a morning routine, doing stuff with the kids, getting to school, all those types of things. And then between 2:30 and generally 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So we've got very clear boundaries with each other, but also with our team.
Yeah.
And then also with our client. So Camille has her business, the hours that she works in the office, on her email signature. So I think this is a massive one that a lot of people miss. If you're only going to be working for your partner's business or in the business or whatever, especially between school hours.
And certain days and times. And I don't think it's a taboo thing to say, this afternoon my kids have netball training and I go and watch them. So I'm not available. But you run a family business. Yeah. Clients
need to respect it.
Yeah, and clients understand it. And like you used to hide it and go, I'm in a meeting. It's like, no, actually on a Wednesday at 3:30 for an hour, the kids have... Yeah. And then people say, how do you manage that and not work in the office late at night? Like sometimes you have to go in for an hour or two at night and just smash things out because the next day the kids might have an assembly thing on. I don't think it's a bad thing as long as you put limitations on it and say, I am wrapping it up at 8. Yeah. When the kids are in bed at 7, quickly do an hour, smash it out.
Yeah, so we've become really... I think that is one of the, it's part of the benefits of working together and having our own family business. Because the other thing that Camille and I do, and it's something that I am very focused on, I ignore the days of the week. Like we don't, to me, Monday's not a high day, a bad day. I don't have a hump day in the middle of the week. Friday's not a high day. Like every day's the same.
I say happy Friday to everyone.
But like what I'm getting at is like if we've got some personal stuff or we want to do something through the week, whether it's have a day off or go to a function or do something with the kids, we'll smash out work on a Sunday.
If you've got it, you got to.
Yeah, if we got to do it, we got to do it.
The kids don't mind because they'll just go and watch a movie.
Yeah, we set the kids up. They watch
dog or whatever.
They're at an age now where they can do their own thing, but it's not taking us away from family time because we're doing it because the following week or the following month, we know that in our calendar we've got a lot of personal time scheduling.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is good having that flexibility, but setting boundaries with clients, or not just clients, colleagues, designers, architects, clients.
Everyone, don't hide it.
Yeah, don't hide it. You're running a family business.
Everyone's working, and COVID has, I think, made it so much better because you are working from home a lot. The kids, can be homesick. You still are working. I rang someone on a call center the other day. I swear I heard chickens out the back. And that's fine. That's awesome. People are able to do it. The stress of traveling to and from an office person's perspective, traveling to and from work, you're so much more productive anyway. And you can, if you're up at 5 and you think, I feel good. I'm just going to go do some tasks that have been bothering me or whatever. Go and smash them out and get it done.
But just schedule them.
Yeah, schedule for sure.
Only forward emails in the hours that you want people to respond to you.
I never schedule so people don't know when I'm doing stuff. But yeah,
But
definitely.
all right,
Next
this
one,
is awesome.
Right.
All right, next one is, well, actually, we've sort of just covered this. The next one was, how do you manage your work hours plus people's expectations around calling emails? We've already just covered that.
Check.
Smashing it. What's your background before you worked in the industry?
Check.
So we've pretty much done that. Camille worked away up to a supervisor for an insurance company or a team leader.
Yeah, thanks.
This is a good one. How did you find time to build quote spec with Duayne?
I've actually been thinking about this for the past couple of months. I don't know.
So for people that might not know, given everything we've been through, where we've come from, I started doing some training sessions with another business coach, and out of that, people started asking for what we were doing in our business. And again, a lot of this had come from what Camille had implemented and helped me work towards in our business. So we had this idea to create an app, and it was called Quote Spec. And again, a lot of people think that Quote Spec is me and was me, but
because
this lady here, I tell you, like, she put in thousands of hours, late nights.
Oh my God.
Liaising with the developers, the software companies, lawyers, solicitors. She built that business.
We had some, I had a great person in the office helping me do a lot of stuff. I'll always appreciate her.
Yeah, it's always a team effort.
Yeah, definitely. It was an idea that we decided was going to help us first and foremost. And then I think, I like to help people. And I've always said that to you. Like, at some point, if I find something that I really want to do that's going to help people.
Camille's a mother hen. Like, she is forever just checking on people, holding people's hands, making sure everyone's all right.
It's not a bad quality to have.
No, that's good.
It does get consuming, and I've had to learn to say no a lot and just ignore. Anyway.
But it was your baby, wasn't it? Like, you... Oh,
my God. It was, because I think it was the first time since leaving my actual job or career that I thought, like, this is me, like, this is good. I've got something to focus on that we've started from scratch together, and that I can help implement and grow and work towards. And early morning training people, late night training people online.
Worked with the developers, built it, tested it, implemented it.
Tested it on you, and then I knew it would work because you could figure it out.
Launched it, marketed it, trained people how to use it, and built it up to to be a successful business, which we now actually have some other partners in it. It's now just had a big rebrand and a relaunch, and it's really, like, I still believe that it's going to be a very, very powerful software in the building industry. So
for sure,
check it out. It's called Quote Ease now.
Yes, it is called Quote Ease now because it's easing your quoting
it is
dramas. It's great to see where it's
if
at.
I can use it, anyone can use it.
It's very true. That should be the motto. Because quoting is like the worst part of the job.
Yeah, for anyone, builders, trades, like, it's so time consuming.
Well, the way we do it, very detailed.
And I guess while we're on that, for builders and for wires partners that are out there, like, if they're in an admin role, they're probably more than likely at some point going to be taking on some of the quoting responsibilities. So the way that we built Quote Spec originally, and now it's flowed through into Quote Ease, it's laid out so easily. So Camille, even though she doesn't have a background in our building, in the building industry, she actually, like, I would say you would do 80% of the quoting.
Yeah, now, because I can do the takeoffs and I can... Like, I'm not having to think about what might be included because everything's already there. So I think that was the biggest thing. You'd be like, send these plans out. And I'm like, I know it needs a roof. I know it needs power, water, probably air conditioning. Like, I can do those main trades because I'd just go, oh, hey, guys, can you just quote this? You know what to do, basically. But everything else, like the quantity of tiles, the cladding, the framing, like the concrete, all that stuff. And you would remember that day you were trying to teach me to take off tiles. I'm like, that is the most ridiculous way to do that. Yeah. I think I come up with the same measurements, but you couldn't get your head around it. So to have a system that you can use to help you do it and to learn with it, and probably my main thing would be the confidence it gave me to be able to do it and know that it was right.
Yeah. So and check it out, Quotes, best software in the building industry. Do you find it hard being a female in the industry, and how do you handle it?
Oh, I didn't handle it very well at the start. Look, I've just read a really shitty article this morning about this in the ABC.
So tell people what you read, because you mentioned it to me and I was like, what?
I was tossing up whether or not to talk about it in a negative light or a positive light. But let's just go with both. One of the comments, this lady has a building company. She was on site and said to someone, obviously, can you go and do this? Like, this needs to be done today, or a trade. It didn't specifically say who it was for. And they said to her, why should I listen to you? Wouldn't it be better for us to go to the bathroom and have a striptease? Who says that?
That's disgusting.
The other one was that she found out that she had lost a tender on a job because they believed that she should be at home making school lunches.
Yeah. Look, the industry is really bad for, like, I know, I actually used to come home in the early days when Camille started in the business, and she would be in tears, or I'd be on site and she'd ring me and she'd be bawling her eyes out because she'd be on the phone to someone and...
getting called little lady? A little lady, what are you?
Yeah, like people just disrespected her. They would put her down because she didn't understand certain things. But I think it's been good for us to go through that. Like, I've learned a lot out of it, but our whole team, I think, has learned. Like,
but you were never like that.
No,
you never disrespect a woman on site.
No, I don't. And look, I can honestly sit here and say that I've had females in my business for a long time. So well before Camille and even the other lady we had, I've got an accounts manager in my business, Sharon. She's been with me for, I think it's coming up to like 16 years or 17 years or something.
That's really like you.
So, but having females in the business is so powerful.
Well, it is, because, and I was just talking about this to Sharon, we're so different, and like we're polar opposites in a lot of things, and it's not a bad thing. Like, it's a good thing. And I think I hate it that people say, oh, it's just a generation thing. Bullshit.
Yeah,
it is a person thing. Like, if you want to treat someone like that, you'll treat someone like that. If you're going to say shitty things like that to women, you are still going to say that no matter what generation you are.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit how old you are. You need to respect people and what they do. And it blows my mind.
Like, we've given everyone permission now. Like, our whole team, like, to ask questions, to give advice.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if I didn't ask questions at the start and have great support, I would have been lost and I probably would have walked away. So I really hope that people that are in my position now are asking for help and getting questions and not being treated like that, because... Yeah. It blows my mind.
And even some of the comments I used to get back in the day, like, disgusted me. And we, there's even a few companies that we stopped using because of it, because they...
there was one guy, I was like, not using him ever again.
Yeah, like they would ring me and say, oh, who's that Sheila you got in the office? She's fucking useless. Like, it's...
And that's why I never had my last... Remember, I would never put my last name on anything because I wanted true feedback from people about what I could improve. And you're like, just put your last name. I'm like, no, because they'll treat me differently.
Yeah. And like, so, like, it was frustrating.
I was useless at the start, I'll give him that. But
yeah, but like, everyone's got to learn.
100%.
Like, everyone has to learn. Look, like I said, I think females are incredibly valuable to any trades-based business. They add so much value. Like, the way you respond to things differently to me, you're calmer than I am in certain situations. You definitely have different skill sets to what I have. Yeah. Like, everyone's, like, one thing that I've definitely changed a lot in the last 10 years is you have to be incredibly open-minded. Everybody has completely different personalities, opinions, mindsets, like temperaments, like that. Like you've got to, instead of treating people badly because of they're not on the same page as you, you've got to embrace the difference.
100%.
Yeah.
100. Well, and that's what this article was saying this morning, is that there's obviously a huge labour shortage at the moment. Like, how can we encourage, and there's a lot of people and associations that are working to get more women in the industry, but yes, there is still negative stuff out there, but we need to highlight the positives. Like, women generally are more structured in tasks or have a different way of prioritising things, and that's why we keep coming back to it. We just need to work together because everyone does have very different skill sets, and it does work. But this mindset that it's okay to speak derogatory, like sexual remarks, like all of that is not, it's not okay.
But I think that the other big side of it is that so many people take, like, so when a female gets offended by something, they go down.
What's she carrying on about?
Yeah, what's she carrying on about? Like, it's nothing to do with that. Like,
you just say, look, I can understand how that seemed. I'm very sorry. Move on. Like, that's all it has to be. Just acknowledge and move on.
Yeah, but look, if you're a wife or a partner out there that maybe might get a little bit overwhelmed, that like what advice could you give from, like, given that you spent days bawling on the phone because of the way people treated you?
There is some really good Facebook pages now, like Builders' Wives in Business, Tradie Wives. I can't remember exact names of them, but I do follow a lot of them and think that would have been so good to have as like a baseline.
Even though you shouldn't really take a lot of the information on there.
I would
seriously.
not take, if you were asking for advice on any pages like that,
use it for support.
Use it for support.
Not for contractual and business.
There's a lot of misinformation on there, and it might be just because that person doesn't actually really know, but they're trying to help. But people need to be very careful of what they are given, and definitely get advice from your associate, master builders or HRA or whoever, or legal, whatever you need to do. But for support, and just be like, I'm having a really bad day, this happened, go with it, for sure.
No, I guess, and for all blokes out there, you've got to embrace females in business, because like, not only do we have multiple females in D Pearce Constructions, Live Like Build, like there's 5 females there.
And trades now that we have that are female, like
we have trades coming to our sites that are female, like some of our reps and staff at our suppliers. Like there's a lot of females in the industry, and you really need to embrace them
for sure.
All right, the next one is, I think we've covered a lot of these off, but what's the best part of being involved in the business?
Seeing it grow with you. Just
serious?
No, for real. I think the best part of the business, knowing that we have built someone's home.
You love the tears at the end, and
I love
Camille
that.
does all the organising the gift hamper and all that sort of thing.
You get to know these people during the build, and I don't get to see them because I've never had time to leave the office, but to know that, like, we've built a part of their memories of their home. And like, we're a lot of our clients we're friends with on Facebook, so we see what's happening. And there's one project at Camp Hill, and she probably knows who I'm if she's listening. I love seeing like her kids' formals photos out the front, and when like recently the other week they had all their lounge room and all emptied, and they had like all these kids in formal photos and babies and stuff, and it's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, Camille, we've built some really like before Camille came into the business, we definitely didn't get the connections with clients that we do now. Like we've actually got, like, people find this hard to believe, but we actually have multiple clients now that we're either great friends with, we go on camping trips with, we go on overseas holidays with.
Yeah.
Like, it's building good relationships.
Come to our wedding.
We actually
best dancer at our wedding, I would have to say.
Yeah, we actually had a couple of clients at our wedding. So
and it's like legit, and I love it. It's good.
This is a really good one. How do you manage to separate work talk from personal talk with Duayne?
I've actually been really bad at this lately. I'm sorry. I used to be the one that used to say, shut up, it's 6 o'clock, don't want to hear it. And if his phone rang, I would glare sideways at him with death daggers because it was family time, especially when the kid's younger. And that was probably a huge learning curve for us.
Yeah.
That you just didn't answer unless it was an emergency because it's just not on.
Well, that comes back. That doesn't happen now because we set very clear boundaries.
Yeah.
Set business hours.
I'm very good at just knocking off now.
Yeah.
It's 5:30 or 4 o'clock, whatever the time is. We've done our job. Do
you agree that we're on the same page?
Yeah, but we might need time to vent about everything's not roses. There could have been a really shitty day and we need to vent, and we will have a quick vent over while we're cooking dinner or the kids are in the shower, whatever.
Yeah.
But then that's it. I've been really bad lately, rolling over in bed and being like, oh, don't forget this, because I don't know. Everything's been a bit hectic lately.
But I think overall, we've got very clear boundaries, and we appreciate each other. You've got to have a chill out time.
You do.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to know from the listeners, Guy, you can have an argument in the office or over something happen, and after work, I'm still firing up about it, and you're like, hey, you want to go and do this on Saturday? I'm like, oh my God, I still want to hate you. This is not okay. So I would like to know, how would people, is it the same?
Yeah.
Is it just a men thing when it comes to marriage?
Blokes get over stuff pretty quickly. All right, let's keep going. Have you been able to take advantage of having different skills and views than Duayne? I think we've covered a lot of that.
Yeah, for sure.
We wouldn't actually be where we are if you hadn't implemented your skills and your different way of thinking.
No. But now you evolving and me learning from you as well. We've done a 180.
Yeah, I think Camille and I have learned it. The most important thing is open-minded.
Yeah.
You've got to be open-minded. You've got to be able to listen to the other person, take their opinion on board, and it's not always your way or the highway.
Sometimes. Depends what it is.
How do you deal with males thinking you don't know anything about building? So
at the start I'd cry. Now I don't care.
Yeah, we've touched on that.
One thing I will say though, recently, people, and I don't know if it's because you're partially a micromanager, but you're not a micromanager. You just like things done properly. People will ask me questions.
Mate.
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo.
I'm not. People will ask me a question and I will tell them, and then I'll find out later that they've asked you the same question.
Yeah. So we actually, this is one thing that really pisses me off, because they will ring Camille and they will think that the information she's given them isn't correct, and they'll ring me, and then we'll be having a discussion in the office and she'll be like, they rang me for that. What are they ringing you for?
Yeah. I don't know if it's the thing they want to check with you because they know how you like to manage things, and maybe I didn't sound super confident, but that's annoying.
It is annoying. So, but
just
again,
don't brush it off. If people want to be like that, whatever.
So that doesn't happen super often, but again, I've had to have conversations with our team and with our subbies. Throughout this journey of Camille coming on board and working in the business for the last 8 or 9 years, I've had multiple conversations with trades, reps, our own team on site. So, I don't know whether it's giving people permission, and a lot of it's education.
It's just.
So I've said to a lot of my people that we working with that, Camille isn't from this industry. She may not know. She may make mistakes. So if you aren't sure on something, either ask more questions or help Camille out. So we do have a few good trades, that have helped you out over years.
Oh my God, for sure.
Actually, I shouldn't say a few, a lot.
Most of our trades are great. It's just sometimes with new people but that's a positive, because that's how we weed people out.
Yeah.
We only want to have good trades and good subbies. And
we want people that are on the same page.
Whatevs.
Someone's asked, how many kids do we have?
3.
How many kids do you have?
3.
Yeah. 2 girls and me.
Yeah. And then
actually, it's 5
the dogs.
and 2 dogs.
Oh my God. And the fish.
Yeah.
And Shay.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And Todd. And no jokes.
How do you deal with the pressures of the building industry?
Everything's a learning curve.
But you've got your timeouts now. You do your Pilates and
you have to, and go away with your friend, like go to dinner, an event.
Yeah, I think this is probably one thing that I think I've helped you with. Like, you've got to learn to switch off. Like other people's problems aren't our problems, and it's not our fault that other people haven't been able to make decisions or haven't been able to sign off on things or haven't been able to do something in the time frames that we've wanted, and then thrown it back on us at the last minute.
Yeah, so, and the reaction to that, I've had to learn just to calm down.
Yeah.
People also, I found, like working at Suncorp, when you had a escalated call or whatever from your team, you'd have to like work through the problem, understand their frustrations, because insurance is hard to understand for everybody.
How to process.
There's a process, and to work through it and be like, I get it. Let's just look at the facts. And now I think if you do get an email from a client that is clearly showing frustration because of something that they may not have understood, or they're just having a bad month or whatever, like I found just calling them and going, like, what is the actual problem? Like, let's work it out.
Yeah.
But they have to be receptive of that.
Yeah.
If they're not, and I think
I think you just said facts.
Yeah, like, well, it's the facts. And this is the thing. And if you're not acknowledging that, like, I'll tell you if I've stuffed up, but if you're not going to acknowledge that you've stuffed up, then that's going to take the whole process on another direction. Yeah. Because it's not my problem now, it's yours.
Yeah, if I think wives and partners coming into a trades-based business, a building business, like a really big value add is that you can spend some more time like with the clients. Like a big part of what we do in our business.
And the pack process makes that very much so, because you are involved from the very beginning of an idea.
Yeah, but
not just when the plans come in.
Yeah, like we spend so much time in the early stages. We've got a lot of documents that enforce our processes of what will happen, and I think that's helped you a lot, hasn't it?
For sure. Yeah. Next.
All right. So actually, this is a good one. I'm interested to see what you say. So I've heard Duayne talk about the hard times you guys went through and how he dealt with it. I feel like my partner deals with a lot and won't talk to me about anything. Did you know Duayne was struggling as much as he was, and did you have any idea how bad things really were?
Oh God, where's the tissues? No, you like hit it very well. I didn't know. I knew we were having problems, but I don't know if other builders or tradies' wives hear us. Money's tight, like, because cash flow is always very up and down. I knew that we were having problems. I knew that there was some outside influences causing more issues for us, that it wasn't just business. So I think that was a lot for you. I didn't realize the impact that had on you, as well as work and family. Plus we had a young family, so I think that makes it even more heightened. I had no idea you were driving around doing all that. Like, I remember that what was that thing you did the first time? And I hadn't even watched it for ages. And a friend said,
I did a podcast with the trademark guys.
Oh, that's right. And a friend messaged me and goes, oh my God, I didn't realize you guys were going through so much. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I hadn't watched it. And then I watched it. I was like, oh my God, like, crazy. Which sounds stupid because we were married, but at the same time, I think you were protecting me.
It's a bloke thing.
Yeah, but you were also protecting us. You were trying to hold it all together. But once we sat down with all of our support people that we had to sit down with and talk about what the end goal was going to be, or what we had to work through, then we had a plan and we worked through it.
Yeah.
But Duayne, that was a lot, and that was a huge turning point. for the both of us.
Yeah, and I think, like, I didn't actually realise the pressure I was, without even telling Camille, I didn't realise the pressure was on her either, but
I was like, I got to go back to Suncorp. I need to get a job. Like, you were like, I'm going to go to the mines. And I was like, what is our life going to be like now? We're never going to see each other. The kids are always going to be in after school care, before school care, daycare. Like, my mum works full time. Your mum luckily could, take them to daycare, pick them up. Like, we had to go through all of these scenarios, and our world was literally going to get turned upside down.
Yeah. And so we made the call to, like, once, and look,
well, things happen for a reason. You got that email and they said that.
No, we talked. Like, the best thing was that I opened up and talked. I think for any builders, blokes out there, like, I was quite ashamed of the situation we're in, like, possibly going to lose the family home. Like,
it wasn't all your fault.
It was a really hard time, but once I opened up and, like, talked to Camille, like, we were able to come up with a plan together, and we're like, well, let's do this. Like,
yeah, and we also talked to other people. So, like, I remember we talked to my mum. We talked to other family members. Yeah. We talked to friends that, like, we really trusted with, very personal information. And, like, we actually were like, no, like, this is... Yeah. And I think we both just decided that we had to push. Like, we had to fight.
Work together.
And look what we did in that first 12 months. Like...
So the turning point was incredible. And I guess that's the powerful thing, because I think the other important part of this conversation is... because I see a few of those comments, and Camille will show me some of the comments on Builders' Wives and those types of pages, and there's been a lot of comments on there, like wives and partners saying that they have to cry in the shower because they feel like when they're in front of their partner, they've got to keep it together because they can tell that their partner's dealing with a lot of stuff. And like I said at the beginning, it's so many building businesses, trades-based businesses would fall apart if it wasn't for the support of wives and partners sitting behind the scenes and not really being spoken about.
Yeah, but we all know mental health's a touchy subject. People deal with it very differently, but you need to speak, like, you need to talk to each other.
Yeah.
There's no judgment. Like, Duayne, I'm pretty sure you cried, like, I don't even think we were living together. I remember that guy ripped you off.
Well, he didn't rip me off. I wasn't running a good business.
You weren't running a good business. Actually, good on you for owning that. You literally had not been paid a huge sum of money, and you were like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, this guy's like crying on the stairs. I've never seen a man cry before. Really? I don't think I've ever had.
No, my world was falling apart.
Yeah.
Like, literally within a 12-month period, like, just from me simply not running a good business, not understanding my contracts, not doing paperwork, not quoting jobs correctly, not understanding my costs. Like, I'd gone, and so I need to probably explain why I was crying. It was hard for me. Like, I was winning awards left, right, and centre. Like, I was getting flown on overseas holidays by suppliers. Like, everyone thought the business was killing it. We're building multi-million-dollar homes. Like, we were getting in magazines. I was getting asked to seminars. But the reality was, I was literally had multiple clients owing me hundreds of thousands of dollars, not paying me. Ended up with master builders in adjudication. Master builders ordering people to pay, still not paying. Like, it was crap.
It was a mess.
But so if you work together as a team, like, I guess for blokes, you've got to talk to your partner. Yeah. You've got to be, and vice versa, open, honest.
For sure. Don't hold back. Like, you can't hold back. Yeah. You know, I don't hold back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you got to let each other know what's happening.
Yeah.
This is a cracking one. Is the DPC office always happy?
No. Oh my gosh. Jay's laughing. It's a mixed bag. It is a mixed bag. I can honestly say I've been embarrassed sometimes where in front of staff I've just lost it, because that was back when we were trying to figure everything out, and I was like, this is bullshit.
Yesterday.
Did it?
No, I'm joking.
No, it probably did. I'm a very vocal person.
But I don't
know.
again, it's learning to...
You're working in a family business. Like, I don't know how people... Perception, like I said perception before. Everything looks pretty on Instagram and Facebook, but you could be fighting 4 hours of the day because you don't agree on something.
Yeah.
But I think now because we have a process and a procedure, like those things don't come up like they used to because it's done. Like there's no...
Most of the arguments now are because one of us has forgotten something or hasn't followed through on something that's in the calendar, or like they're pretty
basic.
Honestly, they're pretty basic things.
We probably make a mountain out of a molehill.
The biggest arguments we have now, I think, are that we're renovating our house.
Yeah.
And I can't make decisions.
Yeah. Oh my God. Nightmare. And also, can you wipe the bench down when you finish cooking?
Yeah.
Once every fortnight.
Come on. All right, this is another good one. Are you as driven as Duayne seems?
No, in a different way.
Yeah.
I think when you were going through your when you started getting coaching and working through that process, and you're like goals. I've had like my goals to get through the day most days. That's just how I work. We had a goal with Quote Spec, and that was probably the biggest thing of my life in regards to goals that I had to achieve, and that made me driven. I'm driven for the end result. Like I want to get things done. I think that's where we complement each other a lot, and it's taken we've had huge arguments about this, that you're like, what is your goal? And I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, what is your passion? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I know that I want to help people. I know that I want to support you in what you want to do. And I know that might sound crazy to some people, but I know that one day I might be walking down the street, whatever, doing what, like, and something will click and go, actually, that's what I want to do. And I know that you'll have my back. You might panic that I won't be here for you anymore. But that's okay. Like, I'm just driven at the moment to get whatever needs to get done to support us, because it's our family business.
Yeah, and it is one area that we're very, very different. I have just so many goals, so many ambitions. I'm just always go.
But I had this conversation yesterday. I love that, and you have great big ideas, but a lot of I know it's not, you think it's like a negative thing, but I'm like, but how? But why? When?
And that's where
what are we doing with this? What is the end result? Are you wasting time and money on this? Like, let's break it down.
And that's where we've worked really well together, because I can have the big ideas. Camille actually has the common sense, and we can either come to a compromise. So it's actually worked really well. But you do, like you've taught me, but I've got big goals, but you have really cool goals. Like you've got an incredible veggie garden at the moment that you're right into, and you're getting, like, you love your sewing, like real mother hen, like knitting, sewing, like looking after family, making cushions, making clothes. Like it's cool.
No, I'm not very good at most of those things, but I try.
No, you are. Don't say that.
I just bought a beehive.
Bees.
I'm gonna join the local.
So I tend to have the real big out there ideas, and Camille has the real bring it home to the family. Like,
I'm a homebody.
Yeah, cool ideas, which is awesome. I've really I've learnt to love it. It's awesome.
Good.
How do you escape work?
I leave. I don't go away. I just, now that we have our new little office space, I just walk out and shut the door.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, we do run a home office. So we've just moved into our new office 2 weeks ago. It's an incredible space, and it's right down one end of the house. We can shut the door, and we can actually separate the house from the business.
I think we used to say to you, like, you can't do anything. What are you going to achieve now? Like, you can't achieve anything. Yeah. And if you have to respond to something that's shitty at 6 o'clock at night, what are you going to be thinking about for the next 2 hours? Yeah. And while you're in bed, like, there's no point.
So how do you switch off? You do your ironing? You've touched on that?
No. I go and do my family tasks. Like, you just have to. You can't. I'm not saying all the time. Or I go, like, I found lately I've been going to like 5:15 or 6:15 class.
Yeah.
So then it makes you like, it's in the calendar. You just go and do it.
Awesome. Well, look, I think we've given them incredible value today. I think it's been really good to, this is real life. Like, we are in the trenches. This is what we do. It's giving people real experience and real knowledge, I guess, from us. So let's, just to wrap this up, because a couple of the questions that come on Instagram, people actually said after the question that, like, they're thinking about joining their partner's business. Like, for those guys that are in that situation, like, what's 3 tips you would give them for getting into the business?
Ask for help. Structure. Like, work out a plan for your day with your partner. Like, figure out your actual role. You're not a delivery driver. Like, if you're working in the office and they call you and say, can you just go and pick this up for me? No. Like, you need to set boundaries on your tasks. And work off each other's strengths and weaknesses. So, like we were talking about it before, you're horrid on computers, spelling, all that. Like, but kudos for you because you always try. That's second nature to me just because of the jobs that I've had. So, like,
I think
do make things that it's going to be more efficient. So if it's more efficient for you to sit next to me and quote and smash it out, so we can go on to other things, or do, anything, just work off that to make your time more efficient.
Yeah. So as we touched on before, it's we wouldn't be where we are if we hadn't learnt to work off each other's strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. So, and I think for any business to be successful, not only each other but yourself, like you need to figure out how you add the most value to the business, and then you focus on those tasks. And if someone else can do them better, then that's where you work together and you sort out who does what. And I think that's what we do really well.
That can be scary though. Like, if you need to get other people in, like, to trust them to work in the business. And a friend said to me when we first, I think, were looking at getting someone in so I could step more into quote spec, was like, it's your business, only you will put in that amount of effort to run that. Like, you need to have a different set of expectations for them. But we'd already kind of done that with our carpenters back in the day. So, but it was very different with the admin stuff because there's a lot of more private information, like money, quotes, like all of that. It's very hard to kind of have that trust. So find people you can trust. Yeah, take a breath, day at a time.
Yeah, but then the benefit of actually doing it in your own business.
Oh, it's huge because you can manage things a lot better and have much more freedom. Go on holidays when you want.
I think once you get on the page, like, don't be afraid. Once you're on the same page, work together. Yeah. Like, I think this episode will be really good for both sides of the fence.
Maybe you could have like a team meeting box every week where you like write down what shed of tears about each other that week and just work through it and have a laugh on a Sunday. Maybe that's what we should have done instead of me trying not to talk to you. But like, communicate and be open and honest and take it. Like, I know, and now even I will say that really made me feel like this, and you'll go, oh yeah, and walk away, and then the next day you'll come back and go, you know what, you're actually really right. Sorry. Like, but you were having a bad day as well. So
But we've learnt we've got to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, look, everyone, thanks very much for listening and watching. I definitely hope you've got a lot out of it. I feel like we're going to be coming back for a part 2 of this one because, look, like I keep saying, the building industry definitely would not be what it is if it wasn't for the wives and the partners behind the scenes.
Amen, sister. And Marilyn might get a bit jealous if I'm down here too much, though.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. So, look, as always, no question's a silly question. If you've got questions for me or Camille, shoot them through. If there's a topic that you'd love to discuss or anything you'd love to talk about, or if you want to be a guest on the podcast, then shoot us a message and sing out. But see you next time. Everything discussed during the Level Up podcast with me, Duayne Pearce, is based solely on my own personal experiences and those experiences of my guests. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. We recommend that you obtain your own professional advice in respect to the topics discussed during this podcast.